Hi guys, Ian here. We're going to be looking at completing the square. Now, completing the square is another way of manipulating quadratic expressions other than factorising. We've looked at factorising expressions like this. So you'll have x squared plus a plus bx plus ab. If you haven't seen how to do that, there's a video on it called Factorisation 2 or something like that. But we see this factorises into the multiple of x plus a multiplied by x plus b. That's very useful. That's a very useful step to be able to take, but it's not all quadratic expressions are in this form. So you won't necessarily have an x coefficient which is a plus b, and the n term which is a times by b. So in other circumstances, imagine for example we have an expression x squared plus ax plus b. We're still going to need a way of manipulating this into sort of the same sort of thing. So if we sort of break it down into two bits, if we break it down to this bit, so we have x squared plus a, and then we'll worry about this plus b bit later. But if we're trying to get two brackets to multiply together to give something like this, we're going to need an x squared, so there's going to need to be an x there. And we're going to need an ax, so we're going to need two numbers which add together to give this. The two numbers which add together to give the ax, and two numbers which multiply together to give x squared. So in the first place, we can consider multiplying x plus a over 2 squared. A over 2, because the simplest way of two numbers adding to a is going to be a over 2 plus a over 2, which is really easy, and also we're only multiplying it twice, so you're going to get two sums, so that makes sense. Now if we multiply out these brackets, we've got x plus a over 2 times by x plus a over 2. Now if you want to see how to do that, I've done it in another video, multiplying out brackets. But basically, I'm going to skip a bit of calculation here to save time. But if you might want to work through that by yourself, that multiplication there. But what you get is x squared plus ax plus a over 2 squared, if you multiply those two brackets together. Now if we compare this to this expression up here, what we've got is, we've got the x squared and we've got the ax, which is good, because that's the part of the point of doing it. That's the main thing we're aiming for. But also we've got this a over 2 squared here, and there we've got a b. So if you just consider this as, consider the equation x plus a over 2 squared equals x squared plus ax plus a over 2 squared. Now what we're going to try and do is manipulate this to be the same as that. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take away the a over 2 from both sides, a over 2 squared. We can do that because so we're just going to subtract it to here. So it's going to equal a plus 2 squared minus a over 2 squared going to equal x squared plus ax. And that's just simple algebra, so we minus that to this side. And then all we need to do to get this to equal the top term there is add b to both sides. So we're going to get x plus a over 2 squared minus a over 2 squared plus b going to equal x squared plus ax plus b, which is what we want, plus b, which is what we want in the first place. So this is completing the square, the step of taking x squared plus plus ax plus b and putting it in this form here. So we have x plus a over 2 squared minus a over 2 all squared plus b. Now it looks quite complicated, it's actually not. usually they'll say something like, you'll have an expression like that and they'll say put it in the form of x plus q plus p or something. That's the same thing, it's just q is a over 2 and p is this bit here, so it's minus a over 2 squared plus b. If we look at a few examples, it becomes quite obvious. So I'll write that up somewhere else actually. So we will get a question like x squared plus 7x plus 3, and you'll be asked to put in the form x plus q plus p or something. So what we'll start by doing is just straight away complete the square like we had in the last question. So it's going to be x plus, it's going to be 7 over 2 because 7 is the a coefficient, so 7 over 2 all squared minus 7 over 2 squared squared plus 3. Then we're going to just simplify that, so it's going to be x plus 7 over 2 squared minus 7 over 2 squared. So you just, if you're squaring a fraction, you just square the top and square the bottom, so it's going to be minus 49 over 4 plus 3. And then we just simplify this bit, so you get a common denominator. So x plus 7 over 2 squared minus, you multiply the top and bottom there by 4, so it's going to be 49 over 4 plus 3 times by 4 is 12, 1 times by 4 is 4, and then add those two together, so it's going to be x plus 7 over 2 squared minus minus 49 plus 12, it's going to equal minus 37 over 4. So this is in the form p x plus b squared plus q x plus q rather plus p all squared. So q is going to equal 7 over 2 and p is going to equal 37 over 4. But there, so that's complete the square. Complete the square. If we look at another example, you might have negative numbers, for example. So I don't know, put in brackets. X squared minus. Hey guys, sorry I dropped my pen. There's actually a bookshelf down there. It went down the back of it, so I had to move around. But anyway, we had x squared minus 11x plus 1. So we complete the square. So x minus 11 over 2 squared minus 11 over 2 squared plus 1. So you simplify this bit here. Going to equal x minus 11 over 2 squared minus 11 squared. Minus 11 squared is going to be 121. 321 over 4. 4 being 2 times 2 plus 1. It's going to equal x minus 11 over 2 squared minus 121 over 4 plus 1 is 4 over 4, common denominator, so top and bottom times by 4, so we're just going to add the minus 121 to the 4, which is going to equal x plus 11 over 2 squared minus 117 over 4. Again, both terms can be negative. So x squared minus 7x, well, we're choosing 7 in fact. X squared minus x minus something weird like 37, I don't know. Then same thing, so you always half the x coefficient, so it's going to be minus 1 over 2 this time, squared. And then your minus, it's going to be minus a half squared, minus 37. Minus a half squared is a quarter, so it's going to equal x minus 1 over 2 squared minus a quarter minus 37, and then 37 with the and then a common denominator, so you multiply top and bottom by 4, which is an awful sum. I don't know why I chose 37. So we have x plus x minus 1 over 2 squared minus 1 over 4 minus 37 times 4 is 148. So minus 148 over 4. And so it's just 1 minus 1 minus 148 is going to equal minus squared minus 149 over 4. Now you probably not going to be asked to do that one that complicated where you have to multiply 37 by 4. Well, they shouldn't be able to multiply 37 by 4. Yeah, but anyway, so that's pretty much completing the square. So what you do, you just take the x coefficient, put the x coefficient in the bracket, and then minus, put half the x coefficient in the bracket, and then minus it squared. It's actually really simple. Don't let it confuse you. But yeah, if these videos are helping you in any way, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Also, I offer tuition over Skype if you need help with any maths problems you're facing or anything, or just want some general tuition and stuff. Then I'm usually free. So just give me hit me up. My email address is down there. But until next time.